Wait a second. Alright, sorry for that. Hello, good morning everybody. I am Felix, Berlin-based composer, and here on these live streams I'm basically giving you some kind of insight and taking you on a journey on what it means to be a freelance, self-employed composer. Because that's what I've been doing for the past 15 years. And yeah, if you'd like to join and chat, just ask me anything. We can talk about whatever you like, really. Today, wait, picture is a little bit dark. Okay, yeah, anyway, it will be a little bit darker today. Maybe the sun comes out and then it will be brighter. Yeah, I think I don't really know what we'll do today. There are several things we could do, but let me just start with something else. Just, a little catching up, because I have not been streaming for the past 2 weeks for several reasons. Most important reason was I had to finish preparing for a recording session that took place last Thursday. So I was in Cologne and recording with this beautiful orchestra here, the West German Radio Symphony Orchestra, which is one of the best orchestras we have in Germany, in one of the most beautiful halls we have in Germany, like one of the most beautiful concert halls, the Cologne Philharmonie, Kölner Philharmonie. Yeah, there I'm in Cologne, and that here is actually, if you don't know him, that's the what's his name? Hide the Pain Herald. Wait, let me see. He was actually there. It was actually him. Let me see if I can open that for you. Wait. There. So, Hide the Pain. Right. That guy. I mean, you maybe have seen him. Yeah, he's basically turned into an internet meme, and there's also a nice documentary about him. Yeah, and he was there at the Kölner Dom in Cologne. Just that as a little side note. And here is the Philharmonie, and we actually spent the whole day recording my music to an audiobook that the West German Radio is producing, which is kind of a 12-part huge audiobook, and they also need some music for that, and that's what we've been recording here. And this was, I was full with adrenaline the whole time. And at some point I had to change rooms from the place where we were recording to the concert hall. And then I just realized what was happening. Like this, it was really, really something. Having this whole orchestra sit there, all these wonderfully talented people playing what I had gobbled up here in a lot of work. Yeah, that was. I'll never forget that. That's kind of the big finale music. And last year I also had a recording session with with another radio station's symphony orchestra, which was also really nice. Yeah, but it's always crazy, these moments. I don't know if you can imagine. I'm spending months and weeks delving over every little detail in the score, and then you have all these people sitting there playing that. Mariano conducting, this wonderfully talented conductor. Yeah, and then you're sitting here in the Tonregie with the sound engineer and the Tonmeister. That's where we spend most of the time. It's really, really hard to be there because you can hear every little mistake and every detail. Yeah, and I had my iPad and all the my score. Yeah, that was pretty nice. So that happened, And apart from that, let me see. No, that's not what I wanted. Let me just close that. And apart from that, I mean, we can look at the streaming numbers. It's there has been something over at Apple Music. Oh, and I mean, the most important thing that happened is obviously my beautiful nails. You know, my daughter had just got some nail polish, and yeah, obviously I wanted to use it too. So now I have a beautiful pink finger, one purple and one beautiful yellow golden finger. Let's see how long this lasts. It's like children's color, so they can actually, you know, it's not, they can get it into their mouth and not die instantly. And you can just basically wash it off with water. But yeah, so what happened here on Apple Music, wait, I can show you here, is that there was another playlist. I don't know if I showed you already. I think I did, maybe. Yeah, Pure Calm. And there's a track, Sarabande. The problem with this track, I mean, not the problem, there's a label behind this. I think I said this on the last stream as well, but there's a label behind this. That was kind of my, let's try to release something with a label strategy, and they get 50%, or is it 60%? 50 or 60% of the revenue from that. I mean, they paid for the cover and the mastering and all that. And they're taking care of the distribution, so yeah. Yeah, but it's nice, right? 100,000 plays already in the last 28 days. Oh. And I think even before that there were some plays as well. So that, oh yeah, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no, okay, that's all plays combined, okay, in the last 8 weeks. And Sarabande has like 132,000 streams on Apple Music, which so roughly about $1,000, and I get 40 to 50% of that. So, yeah, it's okay. I'm not complaining. It's fine. But apart from that, I think it's all, yeah, like pretty standard. Chugging along. I really like the Spotify for Artists new feature that you can actually choose a custom time frame here. So if I really just want all of July, I can really just see all the streams I had in July, which were almost pretty spot on 600,000. Yeah, followers is on my followers on Apple Music on Spotify are kind of on a good trajectory to hit somewhere below 10,000 at the end of this year. Like close to 10,000, a little lower, I think. Yeah, and I think that's it. That's it for the little update. A very important thing I wanted to just share with you, although I don't really know how important it is, but on September 8th, that is in about next week, is it? Is it next week? No, yeah, next week, next Friday, Fragmente will actually release. I still have to shoot the music video. I'm a little behind on that. But yeah, Fragmente will release with the one of my favorite tracks from that album as a lead single that has not been released yet. I can play that for you if you like, because I like it. Because I like it. And it's called Elegy for Peace right now. I think we came up with that name on the last live stream, because up until then it was the name was where is it? Fragmente Music. Up until then it was called Too Soft. Yeah. Sorry. too much. That's better. Yeah, anyway, I'll just leave it at that. And this is like a nice little refuge. And I thought Elegy for Peace is kind of that kind of hits the feeling I want to portray with this. So yeah, I like these little Steve Reich moments. That's actually all me singing, pitched up. But yeah. Onur is here. Onur, welcome. Onur writes, hey Felix, I hope you're well. We were going to talk about editorial list tips, but you didn't have time. Can you talk a little bit about it today? Thanks. Successful pitching examples, maybe. Yeah, I mean, we can do that. I think, well, it's in the end, it's a little black box, right? You never really know what has worked why. Let me show you one thing. There was from Spotify for Artists playlists pitching. There was a very good video by Spotify for Artists on this exact topic, and my takeaway from that video was, well, there are lots of takeaways from that video actually. What I would first of all suggest is, because they are the ones doing all this, to watch pitching to playlists on Spotify, how we made it. Yeah, I just because you're not the only one with this question, like everybody wants to know. There is a very good Spotify for Artists kind of masterclass, is I think how they call it. Yeah, it's really just a very, very good summation of how they want you to pitch to their Spotify playlists, also depending on the stage of where you are in your career. Because if you're just starting out and nobody knows you and they don't know you and they have no data on you, they want to know different things than if you have released a couple of albums and have a few placements on playlists, and so on. So there are different categories and different things you have to look out for. What I'm trying to do is, first of all, the music has to be good, and good is really highly subjective. I know, but yeah, I feel like the tracks that, for example, my Hummingbird rework, I still think that's one of the best tracks I ever made. I don't know if I will ever make something comparably good. And that landed on a big playlist and is still on that playlist and is still gathering streams, and people, want to buy the score and want to play that live. And with Berceuse, it was I didn't particularly like it. I mean, I think it's okay. And when I listened back to the album, I remember sitting on a train, like on a 4-hour train ride, and listening back to my master of that album, listening to Berceuse, and I thought, well, that's a nice track. No, that's okay, that's fine. But 4 million, 4.5, almost 5 million streams. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from. But I think like the first step is to have something you're decently content with. So for me, it's like if I say, okay, this does not suck. Wait, let me just turn down the highs here a little bit. That was very hissy. I think it's better now. So first of all, have something you're comfortable with releasing. That's I think, and also don't put the bar too high, because Berceuse, I probably wouldn't have released Berceuse if I just thought, well, it's okay, I think I like it, okay, let's see how it does, and then it does this. So I think that's the first thing, and I would actually, there's different people advising different things, but I would always think that the money I spend on session musicians, on maybe not gear necessarily, because you can go into this gas territory where you just spend lots of money on gear and never really make music, hoping that the gear will make music for you, which is never the case. But I would always tend to invest in the music itself, and be that session musicians or a good studio space or just time, just to spend time writing music, which I think is the most important thing. Even though many of these tracks came just like that, but I had to have this space and the time to do that. So that's, I think, the first thing, which is obvious, write music that you like. That's good, whatever good means. And the second thing is, on Spotify at least, I think what they want to see is that if they put you on a playlist, they want to have, if people go to your profile, they want you to have a good, up-to-date biography, which I actually don't have. My latest single is not What Remains, my latest single is Alles. So you see, that's already one point where I got, lazy. But yeah, have an up-to-date bio, some high-quality pictures which are kind of aligned with your Instagram or whatever. Instagram for me is some kind of, my Visitenkarte. What's Visitenkarte? My business card. So people go there and, mostly black and white stuff. The other stuff is, I don't know. I'm not quite consistent here, but it's mostly black and white. And yeah, on here it's also like black and white pictures. I basically just have a very good camera, this one, and took these pictures myself. And yeah, up-to-date bio, some good pictures. I think having a lot of places where people could reach. I think I deleted my Twitter account because, what the fuck, Elon Musk. I hate this guy. Anyway, I should delete that Twitter thing here as well. But Facebook, Instagram, I think Instagram is kind of important, as to have a good, concise Instagram page and have that linked here. So the basic idea behind this is that if there's somebody thinking, oh, I like that music, that person will click on your profile, and if there's just nothing there, that's just a dead end. So you win, Spotify wins if you have a good biography, if you have and write it however you like. I chose to write it in the, hi, I'm Felix, you can also write, hey, Felix Rösch is a blah blah blah, whatever. But I think it's kind of important to have a good biography. I also linked to a playlist of mine which has 7,500 likes. Okay, that escalated quickly. But have your own playlist, but basically just feed this ecosystem, feed the algorithm, not the algorithm, but feed Spotify with, and the people, you have to think about the people listening to your music. What would they want? If they want to dive deeper than just this biography, they can go to Instagram, they can follow you on all these platforms, and I'm constantly getting people following me and from Spotify. I think it's from Spotify because I don't know. In the end, I don't know, but ever since I got on these playlists, people started following me on Instagram as well. Your own playlists doesn't hurt. Linking your latest release doesn't hurt. Some up-to-date info about that, which I'm not very good at. So that's something that helps. One thing they mentioned in that masterclass video as well about Spotify playlists and about your biography was just to add a short call to action, follow me on Spotify. because actually the followers is what I really want. Because if I don't get on any playlists, I still have my followers getting my latest music in their release radar and have guaranteed number of X streams and people actually listening to that music. So even if I don't do any marketing, and fun thing is, fun fact, Berceuse was one of the few tracks where I did almost no marketing, nothing. I just posted this, I was completely under the weather and just, okay, it released, and then I forgot about it, just to see that later it got added to this big playlist and it's getting lots of streams. And not only like the streams obviously come through the playlists, but they do have some kind of score. What's it called? There is a Spotify internal score about how good your track performs. So how many people skipped it and didn't skip it, how many people played it to the end, how often they listen to that. So, and from that they can refer how other people might like that, and depending on that they will push it to through their algorithm. And if you have a look at my data here, the funny thing is that let me see if I can go back 12 months or even more. I don't know, source of streams maybe should be here. Yeah, Spotify algorithmic playlists is 44% of my streams, and that's the what's it? Discover Weekly. If you play some track by Olafur Arnalds and someone like that, and I have a similar track that you might like, you might hear that after that. So these suggestions, all these are algorithmic playlists, and most of my streams come from that actually. The Spotify editorial playlists are nice as well, like 26%. It's good, but the algorithmic playlists are where my streams are coming from mostly. And that's also something Spotify is pushing, because as far as I understand it, that's one of the unique selling points of Spotify, that they really concentrate on this algorithmic approach rather than handcrafted. I mean, they also have these handcrafted editorial playlists, and they really do help to get exposed to that algorithm and have a broader audience, judge if your music is good or not by skipping or not skipping your tracks. But I think the real meat of the streams is coming from the algorithmic playlists and the discovery. So I wouldn't be too focused on these editorial playlists, but rather would try to and then in the end it's really hard to predict. I think there's a lot of luck involved as well. I'm not entirely sure if the pitching texts and that process is that important. Because I think, first of all, the editor will, if there is an editor listening to it, because there was one weird thing where I think they have a pre-built or vorgeschaltet like a process that runs before any editor is listening to your music. Wait, where was this? Music playlists. Yeah. Where it's like, okay, my editorial playlists are here, are all great, and then I see 19 editorial playlists. What's happening here? And then we have atmospheric piano, where I'm getting 34 listeners, 72 streams. Weird. Creative focus. Weird. So it's so there's relaxing classical guitar. So that seemed to me like, and I'm constantly getting these, like consistently getting these little bits of streams, where I think there must be some kind of algorithm automatically testing my music on these playlists and then seeing if they perform well or not. And song title not available. I don't know. There's these weird playlist ads where I don't really know. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is what am I trying to get at? yeah, I think what I'm trying to get at is that the text you write in your pitch is not that important. Now for the remix. Hello, nice to have you. Writes, this track sounds nice. Thank you. Which one? This. Wait, it must have been. Oh, this is Rabond, by the way. I really like this. I'm not sure if I like the master. Like the person that mastered it made it very narrow. Like it's very mono. But if you like. Opar. Wait, Ono writes, yeah, that's right, my bio contains similar things. Yeah, and then in the end it's I have no idea why things happen there. But I think as long as you really keep on doing that, you might succeed? Question mark? I don't know. Ono writes, I would like to know your opinion on something as a colleague. What are the highlights of working with a label and being independent for you? And another question, in a time of strong independence, is it normal to want to work with a label just to focus on the music and get away from all these details? That's a big question. Honestly, I think for me right now, what I would need, and that was also one of the takeaways from one of my talks with a big label, was that person said to me, was a really nice woman, and she said, I think what you need right now is a good management, and I think that's correct. Right now I think I'm too small to really benefit more than lose out on if I joined a label, because if I joined a label right now, I think I would get a deal like 60%, 7% of my revenue. They would take that and do with that, I don't know, whatever. I mean, they do stuff, like, especially when it's about playlist pitching and getting on different playlists on different platforms, and not just Apple Music, not just Spotify, but also Apple Music and Deezer and Amazon and all these places. I think if you want to get on playlists there, it's much easier if you have a big label behind you that's actively pushing the editors on these other platforms to add your music to their playlists. So, but for me, I don't know. I really enjoy that idea that there's no ceiling. I mean, and I still have my old day job it's still my one of my main sources of income, but as a composer for all sorts of stuff, from films to audiobooks to theater to commercials. I sometimes do commercials as well. So I still have that, so I'm not fully dependent on my streaming revenue, even though because of my partner got really sick. So I am not really able to travel a lot right now for longer periods, which I would have to do if I would work on theater stuff. So I don't have that part of my income anymore. So I'm more reliant right now on the Spotify thing. But but yeah, I think I really like this idea that I can, I have all this data in my hands. I can basically plan, I can finance my recording sessions myself, and I don't need anybody to do that for me. What would be nice sometimes with a label is if just to get a second pair of ears or second pair of eyes, but yeah, I think most of the time, especially if you're with a bigger label, they have hundreds of people like you, and they need to take care. One person needs to take care of, or one team needs to take care of a lot of people, and they don't really have the resources and the time to really work with you the way I would think would be necessary to make this worthwhile. I think maybe I'm wrong here, but yeah. But I think I really enjoy this freedom. I really enjoy this. I get my steady $2,000 to $4,000 a month from streaming, which is incredible. And I can build on that, I can save up some money from other places from other jobs, for studio sessions, for if I want to do some music video. All of this is in my hands, and if I think I would want to grow further, a little more, and then just hire people. So, but I think the first step and the most important thing, I think for me right now, would be a good, well-connected manager. And I wrote to a couple of people, but they all kind of either didn't reply or said, nah, we don't have the resources right now, and there are way too few people doing that, I'm sorry. So and as long as I don't find a good management, I will do this as well on my own. Yeah. And just because I don't see, I see the benefits of joining a label, but I don't see it being worth thousands of euros every month for me right now. Especially if I already have this. Why should I give it away? But there should be a really good value proposition from a label to me to. Just imagine spending 1,500 euros every month on something. Then this better be good, So yeah, I don't know. I think it might be different if you're just starting out and you don't have that income, and you want to get to a place where you can, support yourself financially, doing just that. And even then, it will be really hard. What I've heard people do is just to create a fully finished album with everything you need, some bio text, some images, and maybe even videos, and just send that whole package to a label, and then to several labels, and then see who replies and if somebody's interested. And if it's half decent, more they might probably say, yeah, that's good, we'll work with you. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, for me right now, that would be a lot of money I would potentially be missing out on. So I don't know, I don't really see the benefits. Right. I see the benefits, but they are not big enough, at least right now for me. Now for the remix, writes, I finished listening to Interlude 2 and I am subscribed now. Really well done. Thank you so much. Funny fact about Interlude 2 is that I think this was completely improvised. Was it? I think I did work on it a little more afterwards, but I basically just added some stuff. Let's listen to it. No. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I'm so happy that you say this now for the remix, because that's actually a track that, it has the least amount of plays. It's on this album, but it's possibly one of my favorites. It possibly is my favorite track on that album, and it's the most undervalued. I don't know. That means a lot to me. You saying that? Thank you. Because I really like this. Because it has a simplicity in it. And it's not as cheesy as the other stuff. So I really like this. Also harmonically, it's pretty interesting, I think. It's okay. It's okay. It's not Stravinsky, but it doesn't have to be. I like this. I also like this background thing. Ono writes, thanks for sharing, Felix. It means a lot. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm sure I forgot a lot of stuff, but in the end, it's also for me. It's there are these Spotify, Apple Music gods somewhere. I never see them. I'll never meet them, but they have tremendous power over my life. So it's kind of weird, but I think what also helps is just not to look at the numbers all the time. I don't know, because it doesn't really help. And what also doesn't help is what I tried once and failed miserably is there's this one track, I think it was with the string orchestra, like the first track that got onto a playlist. And then I tried to recreate that, and it just failed. It didn't really do anything. I think you always have to be true to who you are in this certain moment, and just write music accordingly, and just be honest with yourself, at least, you know. But I know, in the end, nobody really knows how this whole thing works. So, what I would do is watch this Spotify masterclass and just go through their YouTube channel. They have this one video, I can't really find it right now. Yeah, let's see, Spotify artists for the world roundtable. It's a little bit older. Playlists and music discovery. I think it's this one here, this 35-minute video. Yeah, that's it. So, playlists and music discovery, Spotify for Artists masterclass. Oh, I have not subscribed yet. Yeah, that's really good. I think most of the questions you might have will be answered there. Yeah, and then with the other platforms like Apple Music and Amazon and so on, I think there it really, you know, I only just got on a playlist here after Nocturne, which is pushed by PS Nordic, which is a big classical label, and which was a collaboration between me and Theodor Wolgers. This got on a playlist, wait, let me see, 12 weeks, no, year to date maybe, because then it's pretty obvious. Yeah, you see here. This little blue spike, that was the track that I probably won't ever see any money off from, because, you know, that goes to the label and to the management, and after that Theodor and I will split the remainder 50-50, so it's, you know, I won't see any money from that. But what it did was to trigger the attention, that's how I imagine it, attention of some people at Apple Music, or one editor, who then added Berceuse, which is, you know, the most successful track here on Spotify, thinking, yeah, okay, well, if it has 4 million streams here, it should be okay. And then added this, and then here, that's where another track, again, a track I released with an independent label, got onto this playlist. So there's another little bump. Yeah, but I have 1.3 million streams on Apple Music. That's good. That should be kind of around $10,000. But, well, most of that. But, I mean, Berceuse is a track I have, and that's, again, a beautiful thing, because Berceuse was not released through label or anything. I have 100% of the publishing of the, I get everything concerning this track, so I get all this money. You know, it's not like it's going to a label, it's not like I get all that directly from these streaming services. The only downside is that it's really hard for me to get on bigger playlists outside of Spotify. But then again, Spotify is the biggest discovery platform on the planet for music and is the biggest player. So it's a good place to start. Yeah. Okay, enough ranting. That was... I don't know. That was 40 minutes of rant on how to get on playlists. And everything I know about that. But yeah. Yeah, so what I actually wanted to do today is, well, there are several things. Either we could work on the Faker collab I wanted to work on for quite a while now. We could do that, but that's a lot of work. I'm not sure if we can get this done today because I've been talking so much, which is fine, which is a lot of fun. We could take a look at the sheet music because that's another thing I want to have when I release. I mean, another thing, that's the last tip, Onur, is to be consistent and to not just release an album or a single after single after single and then think there's something going to happen, because I think let me see, I still have the data on how I did it or how it worked for me. That's the plan. Let's look at daily streaming numbers here. Okay, and now this is where I'm at right now. So I haven't included Apple Music right now because it's a little harder to get these numbers. But on Spotify, it's really easy to download these numbers and to just get an idea of how much money you will make every day, approximately, with streaming. So you kind of have to add, like, not the same amount, maybe something around that amount with the Apple Music streams right now. But that was 2023, and now 2022. And you see right around October here, I think they changed something, because then the algorithmic playlists really took over and started to, you can see that here, started to take off. And before that, this is 2021. And 2021, I was already at it for quite a while. Like, I already did this for quite some time. And people were buying my music on Squarespace, back then on my homepage, via Bandcamp. And I got, like, made 10 euros a month, 10 euros a month, no, a day. So a couple of €100 a month. That was 2022, 21. And then 2020, it was like a couple of euros. Followers were coming and going, but it was really nothing big. And there I was already at it for quite a long time. So, and then 2019. So this was in 2019. That's when I was added to a back then fairly small playlist. That was my first playlist ad. Wait, where is it? Not quite classical, I think. Is it not quite classical, right? And I mean, right now this playlist is funnily enough, it's pretty small. I think they changed something, and now the numbers are kind of weird, because the streams I'm getting from this playlist are much higher than, I don't know. But it was at like 16,000 or even below 10,000 at that point. And then it grew to 400,000 or 500,000. I don't know. And now for whatever reason that number is pretty small, but the streams are still the same. I was added to that. And before that, I was doing that, working on this for quite a while. Philia release, first ever sale on Bandcamp. And I think the hard part is if you're in this region here, like 2018, and you're not making any money, and you're putting in a lot of work. Orchesterverfremdung, I put a lot of work in this, and then I got one follower, which was probably my mother or my father, I don't know. And nobody cares. And then you get some streams here, it's fine, like 70 streams, 30 streams, 15 streams, and then bloop, it goes down again, and I release another track, and you get maybe sometimes 3 streams a day, maybe 1. Then you get this 2 streams, 1 new follower, and this is for a whole year. Like, and you're still working your ass off, and nothing really happens. And you're working and working, and nothing really happens, and you get my point, right? And the camera is off. Wait a minute. Alright, sorry. Okay, I hope the battery works. Should be okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. Yeah, but you get my point, right? You're doing this for so long and nothing really happens, and then what happened here? Ah, Fuleo release. And here, that's when I started to just say, okay, man, I really need to do more. And then I really sat down, created some marketing plan and material, and started pushing people to my Spotify actively. And it was a lot of work. And I got 68 streams a day, which was great. 15 streams, 30 streams. And you know, you can see, started getting followers more and more. Honestly, I wasn't doing a lot before that. But this was the point. My daughter was born, and I thought I need to change something. So I started racking up like some followers, some streams, and you know, the numbers started to wiggle a little. And then I released Becoming Ocean, and then that was the playlist ad. And from that point on, I mean, €1 a day. That's right now, that would be catastrophic. But and 500 streams a day. But at that point, you know, going from 7 streams a day, 8 streams a day, 16 streams a day to 500, 400 is a pretty big increase. And to constantly get every day new followers, then the album was released, String Machine, 3,000 plays a day. So yeah, but and that's 2019, and I've been working as a composer for, I don't know, 15 years now. I've been wanting to do that since I was 5. So it's a long journey. It's a very long journey, and on a very winded, weird, funny road. But yeah, I think what really helps is to just, even though you don't see where you can get or what can happen, is to just continue doing that and to continue to push. And then at some point, you know, and this was, I mean, looking back, this is a fairly small playlist, but it's good because it's not too big. I was over the moon, like jumping around this flat here. Another thing you can do is use Submit Hub. You know, just to get some streams and to get the algorithm to know you. That might work. So that's what I most of the time still do. Some things that tend to work well are like cheesy piano compositions, because everybody here wants to have this big cheesy piano playlist with sleepy music. So that tends to do better than other things. But I think what Spotify, if they see that you're actively working and promoting and consistently doing that, not just once a week for a week, and then not anymore, but really just consistently work on promoting your music, consistently work on releasing music, making music, and you have a good social media presence so that people could follow you if they wanted to. And if you're doing that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and months, I think in the end there will be something that will hit something like that thing here. You know, and even that wasn't not a lot of money I got from this, but it was a promise of it could get better. And then, I mean, fast forward to today, it's better. It's much better. I mean, and this is you know, if you get €2,000, I mean, this month will be, I don't know, probably also like 2,000 then from Apple Music, another, don't know, whatever comes from Apple Music. It's really, I don't quite know yet. I have to, let me see. Let's go to DistroKid and see. Bang! So 4,400 is something I could pay out right now, and that's what I got in. Yeah, but you get the idea. It will get, you know, I think if you're half decently talented, you don't have to be a genius, because I'm definitely not. I'm just very stubborn, and I keep on doing this because I really, really want to do that, and I don't care if I'm talented or not, because I mean, I know that I'm not too bad. I know that I can do some stuff, but most people would be able to do some beautiful stuff if they were, you know, if they just kept on going. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just mostly about not giving up, because and I don't know where this will go. Right? It could stabilize here, which would be pretty great actually if I had a stable income of a couple of €1,000 a month. And but then again, I have to feed this beast, right? I mean, what I'm doing here right now, live streaming, is also part of this. It's like a little thing, and for me, it's kind of a good mechanism to, you know, be exposed to the real world. But yeah, you have to constantly release, constantly work on your music, constantly do some marketing stuff. But I personally like to do that. If you don't like to do that, label would be maybe a good idea. But I really enjoy planning music videos, doing all this graphics design stuff, writing the text is something I don't really like, but yeah, it's okay, I can do that. I like that track as well. Yeah, so I mean, this was a rather in a way unproductive stream. Let me see. I think I finished the score for like what people can buy, 4 pieces for string quartet from Fragmente. I like this track as well. And I mean, another thing that might be interesting is the track that got on this playlist first, like on the... Wait, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Here. That track, Becoming Ocean. Okay, that's my son waking up. I think that's the stream. That's it. Yeah. You hear that? Okay, I have to go there. Everybody, it was a pleasure having you. I'll see you soon. Otherwise, he will fall out of bed or something. Okay. Mwah! It was a pleasure. See you soon.